Balls are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee win! That is by Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the...
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. Sir, you found a way, okay? All right, now, what I tell you, okay? All right, this decade is going to be the decade of the Vols. You got it?
Reddit did to do, and welcome into more important issues. It is Wednesday, July 15th. Good news on the maybe the amateur. Well, I guess college football is amateur, but the high school level of football potentially today.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know a lot of people aren't excited about the news because people just feel differently about it. That's fine. It's fair to have your opinion. But the only thing I can tell you is it probably fares well for high school football.
Yeah.
So
that's
the only kind of good news I have for you.
I mean, I think high schoolers probably didn't really want to go back, but they're going to go back in some capacity.
Right.
So I think they would rather be at school with their friends in some ways than at home in front of a computer.
No, I 100% agree. Sorry if we're up. We're having some technical difficulties trying to get us up on Twitter right now. So sorry about that. Give me a second. But yeah, we're on Facebook and YouTube. We appreciate you guys hopping into the show. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'm hopping onto YouTube right now and trying to get to Twitter. Landon's got Facebook. Just ask us any questions. If we don't answer them immediately, don't worry because we will get to them. So just bear with us, stay with us, and we will answer the questions. We have a great show for you guys. I'm pumped to get it underway. We're talking about some NCAA eligibility. I know it's been a question this week because I know Georgia fans, and there's probably some listening to this right now. JT Daniels is eligible, which I have to ask a question. What are you going to do with your Heisman winning quarterback?
They just got another one.
I guess.
2 co-Heismans.
There you go.
That's what's going to happen.
They're gonna
First ever.
Kirby Smart. If Kirby Smart knows how to do anything, it's how to manage 2 quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So we're going to talk about some immediate eligibility, especially as it pertains to a specific Vol. I think that's really it. That's really the only question of eligibility, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Just wanted to be sure. We've got the South Carolina preview, continuing our opponent preview, a little bit deeper of a dive in before the season starts. Just to talk about some of the people Tennessee will play and maybe how they'll start and finish the season, if it starts at all, which I think it will.
Should.
Maybe not on time, but I think it will. Yeah. Then we've got I'm going to talk about some of the awards, especially Henry To'oTo'o. And Eric Gray was named to an award watch list this week, or today, excuse me. So we'll talk about those guys and those Tennessee players who are being, I guess, put on some watch list, having some expectations put on them.
Some sophomores.
Hey, part of the expectation thing is it, put some pressure on you, but hey, you got to be good enough to be put on the watch list first. So.
Yeah, and for those two to be freshmen last year, that's got to be a good sign of the talent that Jeremy Pruitt's bringing in.
Absolutely, I agree. We're going to talk about some team news. Unfortunately, Tennessee they did have some basketball players test positive 2 weeks ago, I guess. Mm-hmm. Now it is after the July 4th holiday. It has hit the football team. Don't know the numbers aren't clear on that. We'll talk all about that though this show. Again. Some questions from you all. Ask away. We'll catch them in the chat. Again, if we don't answer them immediately, don't worry. Stay with us. We will get to them. We always do. I promise. Guys, we've got a great show. I'm pumped. Before we jump all the way into it. Oh, and of course our segments. Can't forget our segments. Yeah. Before we jump into it, though, Landon's going to tell you all about the people that make this show possible.
Yeah, so go check out our good sponsors, Hound Dogs and Tennessee Tap House. Go get you some Vols gear. Go get you some brews, some food. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy it.
That's all you can do right now.
Wear your mask.
Wear a mask and just try to enjoy life as much as possible.
There you go. Did you see the video of the guy today I don't even think it was in the state of Tennessee, in some kind of shopping center, wasn't wearing a mask, gets yelled at. The employee was probably not handling it correctly, and she eventually grabs his buggy. He's like, "Don't effing touch me!" Just F, don't effing touch me. And he finally pulls a mask out, which I'm like, "You're carrying a mask with you?" Puts it on. It's under his nose. Nice. As soon as she walks away, he pulls it under his chin, and then he walks like 5 steps and just takes it off. And I'm like, "Dude, you're just being a dick at that point. Like, just wear a mask."
Yeah.
And then eventually she finds him in the store later and kicks him out.
Yeah, is it worth it?
I guess.
Like really, is it worth the hassle of somebody just yelling at you? It's not.
And I love the guy that's like, "I don't have to wear a mask." And I'm like, I mean, you are shopping in their store. You don't have to shop in their. You're right. You don't have to wear a mask, but you don't have to shop in their store either. So,
right.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. Let's just be courteous a little bit. Let's put a
little courteous.
Ourself to the side just a tad.
We've already got a question from Bama Buddy. He said, "Do you think we will have a football season?" I think there'll be a football season. I don't know if it'll happen starting September 1st.
Yeah, probably not.
That's kind of where I'm at right now. I just think, and we talked about probably last week, that high school football can't be moved to the spring. Logistically, it just does not make sense. Mm-hmm. College football can. There are some logistics to work out. There are going to be some issues to run into, but you can move college football.
I'll say this. I think we play some sort of football in the fall. I don't know if they'll finish the season, but I think they will at least try to have some sort of normal. I guess that wouldn't even be normal. It's not going to be normal, but make it as much normal as possible.
Yeah, I agree. I think you'll see something. Hopefully you see something. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to plan like we are. Let's jump into some NCAA eligibility questions, because this is the Tennessee fans have been curious. Austin Price and Brent Hubbs provided a little bit more clarity, along with, I think, Jimmy Homs mentioned it as well. Because JT Daniels was granted immediate eligibility for the upcoming season after he after he transferred to Georgia, filed for a waiver. First off, he's a quarterback. I could have told you that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Zero doubt in my mind that was going to happen.
And one of a highly regarded quarterback, too.
Yeah. So it was going to happen. Doesn't surprise me at all. As far as Cade Mays goes, apparently they waited to file until, apparently, 2 weeks ago. Is that what it was? Mm-hmm. There were some, people thought they probably waited till the spring to file. Now it seems that they waited longer. I don't have an answer. A lot of people are jumping to conclusions that they waited too long. I'm not going to say they did or didn't. I don't know. Aubrey Solomon got eligibility, and that was a big question last year. I think it was thought of for a while that he wasn't going to get eligibility.
Yeah, my thought with this whole thing is like, what are we waiting for?
See, I can't speak to it because I just don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, we don't know the entire process. But the fact that a guy from Georgia comes in within a month.
Yeah,
it's not. Or it's been a month and like a couple days.
I've got to. And I realize I'm kind of siding with the university, but I mean, I feel like you kind of have to assume they're doing the right thing. Has there been, especially since Philip Fulmer's been here, since Jeremy Pruitt's been here, and then in the last 5 years, has there been an issue with the compliance office as far as getting athletes eligible? Can you recall?
I don't think so. Not one that I was like, oh, he should have been eligible, but wasn't.
So, and a lot of people are jumping to conclusions. And again, I do understand. I don't know why they're waiting. I don't have an answer. But my best guess is, I'll put it out there, and I realize it's coming from a standpoint of defending the university. I do get that. But I also would like to point out that I just don't think there's any reason to believe the compliance office is lazy or stupid at this point.
No.
So probably waiting to put together the best case for Cade Mays.
Mm-hmm.
There is a pending lawsuit with the family in Georgia. I got to imagine that is going to play into the eligibility
issues. They want to
get
all the facts together, and I get that. I just don't see how... I just don't see how it takes 6 months to do that. I really don't.
Again, I don't know. But
right.
Was there a hearing in May for the lawsuit?
Well, I think they're... And if they came out and said this, I think it would make sense if they said that they were waiting for the NCAA to say they're doing the one-time transfer in May. And it got tabled to January. That's understandable. But for a guy to move all the way across the country and get it within, less than 2 months...
Right.
And it's been 6 months since Cade Mays announced that he was transferring.
Right.
I just think that's... I don't know.
No, I mean, I think there's definitely questions. There are questions to ask there.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what those are. But I can't imagine they've been, sitting on their butts for 6 months. I've got to imagine they were building a case,
Yeah.
and ready to file.
And I think Tom Mars,
he's no longer representing,
right?
Yeah.
But I think he said that it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And I do think Cade Mays will be eligible. I just think it. As a player, especially with Aubrey Solomon, you look at him, it wasn't until like a week before the season before he heard anything.
Right, but was that at Tennessee's fault or NCAA's? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that either. I'm just saying it's a huge weight off a kid's shoulders to know he's actually like 100% eligible. And Cade Mays, he probably thinks that he's going to be able to play, but like there's not 100% no doubt that he's playing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I just think it's a huge weight for a kid to get off. So I don't know.
No,
I just think
there's definitely questions to be asked. There are.
But is it the quarterback thing? Just because he's a quarterback, he gets that's the dumbest thing.
I mean, you have to look at if you look back at last year. And look at the quarterbacks I got eligible versus a guy who transferred home because his mom was in cancer treatment. He didn't get eligible, and he was a fullback, I think, tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very obvious who the priorities are as far as the NCAA goes.
The NCAA, like if you don't think that, you're showing like it is.
Yeah, and I think the biggest question about the Cade Mays thing right now is if he is. I have to assume they think they have a good case. Why did they wait this long? If you can't wait this long if that's because if you don't win it the first time, you don't have much time to appeal.
Yeah.
So I've got to think they have a really good case put together. They did their homework, due diligence. Maybe they wanted to wait on some of the lawsuit stuff to figure that out to help the case. I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. But again, a lot of people are jumping to conclusions that Tennessee's compliance office is in the wrong. They haven't. I can't. And maybe if anybody's in the chat, if anything in the last 5 years, anything since Pruitt's been here, that there's been a question of eligibility issues or where the compliance office just hasn't seemed competent. And maybe they are, and I'm blanking on them. I don't have a great memory when it comes to kind of things that aren't out in the forefront. So you help me if I'm forgetting. I don't have a big reason right now to be questioning the compliance office.
Yeah, it just looked like when it first happened, you're like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean,
but then it Austin Price said that they didn't file until just recently.
Right.
And you're like, okay, well, what are we waiting on?
Yeah, I mean, it should be in question. I'm not saying you shouldn't ask the compliance officer questions,
right,
but I think right now it's just kind of let's wait and see what happens.
But what happens with Georgia? What if Jamie Newman if he leaves, is he going to become eligible before Cade Mays is?
Probably. I mean, he's not gonna. Do you think is there a chance he leaves before fall camp?
I don't know. Or does JT Daniels, does he leave?
There's no way. There's no way.
That would be wild. But I do think there's going to be something's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
somebody's going to get pissed off because they're not playing. And
yeah,
I think in Georgia's perfect scenario that JT Daniels sits this year and Jamie Newman goes to the NFL after this year and JT Daniels takes over.
I mean, I'm not saying they only left because of playing time because I don't know their backgrounds. But Jamie Newman's Purdue, right? Wake Forest,
yes.
They didn't have a coaching change, did they? Mm-hmm. And then USC didn't have a head coaching change. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. And they both weren't starting when they transferred.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying playing time's the only issue, but that's obviously an issue. And I don't know their backgrounds. I can't say it. But so, yeah, I'm with you. I think you probably see one of them transfer. There's a possibility you see one of them transfer.
Yeah.
And both, I don't know, how many, does Jamie Newman only have 1 year? See a graduate transfer? I feel like he's older.
I think I don't know. I don't think he was draft eligible this year.
Let me just look it up real quick.
But maybe he did leave early.
I don't know.
Like maybe he graduated early, but this is just his junior season.
Yeah.
I think he has another year also.
Gotcha. Okay, so then I was about to say, I feel like if that's the case, then he probably wouldn't leave if JT Daniels got the starting position. But if it was the other way around, then yeah, I'd say it's possible. But I don't know.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting. I just love I saw Kentucky and they're just like, we have the same problem. I was like, no, you don't. I was like, that's
with
not
all their random transfers in.
Yeah, Joey Gatewood and
who's a dude from Temple.
No, he's from Auburn. And,
There's a dude from like Temple or Troy, right? That was supposed to be good last year and he got injured.
Oh yeah, that guy too. They're like, yeah, we have so many options at quarterback. I'm like, bad options, not great.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what do I have for dinner? A can of beans and broccoli? Like,
Yeah.
That's good. Those are good options to have.
Right. I'm just like, no, you don't have the same. You have a problem.
You have a problem.
But it's not a good problem
I
like
do not
it is at
disagree that
Georgia.
you have a problem.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Jamie Newman he redshirted at Wake Forest
So he'll be a
in
redshirt
2016.
junior.
So yeah, he would have been. So he played in 17, 18, 19. So he's a redshirt senior. No, redshirt junior. Yeah.
Okay.
Redshirt junior. So he has 2 years of eligibility. He was probably a graduate transfer. Yeah. That was probably why he was eligible immediately. So no. This is his final year of eligibility.
Okay.
So he stays, I guess, if JT Daniels starts. There's no way, right? Because it's not. I mean, it would have to happen before fall camp, and I can't imagine he doesn't at least try to beat him out. I can't imagine.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know. Like how I know JT Daniels is coming back from injury. I don't know.
ACL, right?
Yeah. I don't know. That's gonna be interesting.
I don't know.
But I think with Cade Mays, I don't think you can put together a better case. You mentioned the lawsuit.
Yeah.
So his dad's not even allowed on campus.
Right.
And then he moves home. Not just like closer to home. He literally moves home.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't see how you can and his brother's here. How can you put together a better case than that? You can't.
Yeah, and I've got to imagine there's some stuff in the lawsuit too that probably helps the case, not hurts it. And the SEC rule got lifted too last year, I guess. So, or you can transfer within the conference.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got to imagine it helps out. I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
Hopefully soon.
How does Georgia get so lucky? Like, did those quarterbacks not do any research about like how they treated Justin Fields and Jacob Eason?
I mean,
Like in the back of one of the quarterbacks,
But
they're
what's
like, yeah. What if JT Daniels like, yeah, Jamie Newman's better than me, but I'm gonna play because they started Jake Fromm over Justin Fields.
what's the coach? I mean, what's Kirby going to say in that? He's going to tell you, and what every coach should tell you in that scenario. We play the best guy. If you believe you're the best guy, we'll play you.
Yeah.
It's that easy. And he can sell you on it because in their head, and maybe they did. I mean, it's not. I mean, Justin Fields is probably your only exception, but he was a freshman, and I mean, I can understand where they're coming from. I mean, yeah, looking back, you're like, I'd rather have Justin Fields in my roster than Jake Fromm. But I mean, at the time, I can certainly understand the point. Yeah, I don't think it's a difficult selling point for a coach.
Yep.
I don't think so.
I don't know. It's just weird. Like the options that JT Daniels and even Jamie Newman had, like to go be the guy. Now
It's weird.
Now it's like,
I mean, Jamie Newman Georgia was probably his best fit.
oh yeah.
I mean, he could probably
at that point, but now he's like,
Oh yeah, now that he's probably can't play. I mean, yeah,
right.
He's a Heisman candidate. What are we talking about?
Yeah, no doubt. Probably a favorite too.
That's pretty impressive for Georgia to have 2 Heisman candidates on their roster. It's pretty impressive.
At the same position.
Yeah, that's how I get it. Yeah, that's what I should have said. Let's go to South Carolina. Old Will Muschamp.
Is
This is the year, man. This is the year Muschamp.
that sea a little warm?
I don't know. I don't have faith South Carolina would ever do the right thing, so I'm gonna go with no.
See, I think the only thing that saved him last year was they beat Georgia.
I mean, it had to. They went 4-8.
That's bad. I mean, it does suck that they had a tough schedule.
Yeah,
But yeah, you shouldn't have went 4-8. You shouldn't have lost.
they also lost to Tennessee.
Yeah, they lost to Missouri by 20.
Yeah.
They lost Texas A&M 30-6, and then Clemson beat them 38-3.
Who are their wins?
Beat
3
Georgia.
cupcakes? Oh, Georgia. I
They
forgot about
beat
Georgia.
Charleston Southern.
Yeah.
72-10. They beat Kentucky 24-7, and Vanderbilt 24-7.
Ouch.
Yep.
Ouch.
I mean that. We feel your pain. That was 2007.
So they're probably going to improve by potentially 4 wins this year and finish the same spot in the SEC.
Let's see.
Yeah, I need to jump on their schedule just.
Yeah,
to check
Coastal
that.
Carolina, East Carolina. But dude, they lost to App State. So East Carolina, I wouldn't say is just like a.
I'd still put App State above them though.
Oh yeah, 100%. They played Wofford. They should beat Wofford. But Wofford's a team that, like, they're one of the best. I think they're FCS, right?
I mean, they should be Wofford?
Yeah. I think
Yeah, they're FCS. They're in the same conference as UTC and
Citadel
and Furman and all them.
Yeah, they're one of the best
Southern Conference
FCS teams.
I think they finished like 3rd or 4th in their own conference last year. I think UTC, Furman definitely finished above them.
Furman lost to them.
Oh, they lost to them? I thought Furman finished 2nd last year when we were previewing them.
Now you're making me second guess it.
I thought they did. I thought they finished 2nd behind. Maybe it was Wofford they finished behind. Who did I think they finished behind?
So they beat Furman 24-7.
Okay.
They lost in the first round to Kennesaw State in the playoffs.
I'm talking about in the Southern Conference though.
So they were 7-1 in the SoCon.
Okay, so I guess they finished 1st and Furman finished 2nd then. Yep. Is what it was. But South Carolina, looking at their schedule, so I'll just roll it off real quick. They play Coastal first, then East Carolina. They travel. No, the Missouri comes to them, so Columbia. Woohoo! South Carolina then travels to Kentucky, and then they travel to Florida. I think they could easily be 4-1. 3-2 is probably your floor coming into Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's a pretty easy schedule leading up to Tennessee.
Yeah, then they got a freaking gauntlet.
And then after that, you may not win any more games.
Well, you play Vanderbilt and Wofford.
That's the good news.
Yeah.
Then you get LSU. That's a tough opponent to rotate to.
Georgia, LSU, Wofford, Clemson. The thing is with South Carolina, like you make it through the tough conference schedule, and then you have Clemson waiting on you at the end.
Apparently they're like, because, I think ACC and SEC both have been leaning about no non-conference. They've been talking about it clearly. I know the Carolina schools, South Carolina South Carolina and Clemson were talking about how and I think Georgia Tech and Georgia were talking about how they want to play each other. Like that's a rivalry they want to play. If I'm South Carolina, I'm like, let's sit this year out. We're good.
We're good.
I mean, for the pandemic.
Yeah.
We're looking out for our kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like you said, it's not a necessarily like
SEC,
super easy
ACC,
schedule.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
But this South Carolina schedule, it's not like it's easy. I mean, they play that with the East getting a little bit better this year, should be a little bit stronger. And then their non-rotating's A&M, so they're always going to be a tough opponent. Mm-hmm. And then they get LSU this year, which I'd rather have LSU this year than last year, but it's not easy.
No,
it's not a Mississippi State or Ole Miss. Or Arkansas.
We get Bama, just like we have LSU this year. We have Bama every year. So sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying their schedule is tougher than Tennessee's by any means. Right. It's probably very similar. They probably maybe get the nod because we have Oklahoma this year. I was about to say they probably get the nod because of Clemson.
Not this year.
Not this year. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty difficult schedule. It's not difficult really before the Tennessee game, but you are going to find out a lot about them, which is good. They'll know a lot about Tennessee too, but it's not a Florida where you don't really see them against many people before the game. You'll see them play 3 SEC games. You mentioned East Carolina's not necessarily the easiest opponent, so you see them face.
That's where Chase Hayden went.
Yeah, so you see him face a tough. I think East Carolina's FBS.
Yeah, they are.
So you see him face a tough FBS opponent, probably better than Georgia State. Maybe not Georgia. Georgia State had a good year last year.
Dude, South Carolina was terrible last year.
Yeah, they are. They were, and they don't. I mean,
I don't see them getting much better.
No, their defense should probably be about the same.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit better. And then you look at their offense. They're going to start Helinski, and I feel like he just lost a lot of confidence. He got banged up last year. How do you fix that this year? Like, how do you fix the confidence issue when you're talking about there's not a break in the schedule?
Yeah. Well, the thing that usually keeps South Carolina competitive is their defense and Will Muschamp, but their defense was 11th in total defense in the SEC, and they're 12th in passing yards and 12th in rushing yards.
Yeah, and they have they had 17 takeaways, which is down from what they normally have.
Yeah.
Like their takeaways are usually what get them through.
And their 3 best defenders in the front 7 are gone.
Yeah.
Kinlaw was a first rounder. DJ Wanham and TJ Brunson are all gone. Now their secondary is pretty good. They're young last year.
Right.
J.C. Horn, Jamie Robinson, and Israel. I can't say his last name. Something.
I'm not taking a guess. You got it.
Yes, Israel something. He had 4 interceptions I think last year, but they're pretty good. But Juwan Jennings toasted them for like 180 yards.
Yeah, it is going to be when we're talking about just Tennessee versus South Carolina. You do have to replace your leading playmaker in the game. They do return theirs, but I think over half of his yards, is it Shaw Smith?
Yeah,
SHI.
on the first
75-yard touchdown on the first play. That was, I think, a third of their total yards for the game came on the first play of the game, which I thought we were going to lose. I was very upset after that. But I mean, that's what's crazy is like when we rolled into that game, the first play, you thought Tennessee lost right there.
Oh yeah,
and especially because you're talking about that was the game Juwan Jennings technically started at quarterback, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah. So you didn't know who was going to play quarterback, and you weren't necessarily confident in anybody playing. Brian Maurer was out with a concussion. It was a lot of question marks coming in that game, and then they score on the first play from scrimmage. You're like, you could just go ahead and turn off the lights and head on home. And, I mean, credit to JT Shrout, credit to Jarrett Garantano, credit to the whole team. They bounced back and played really, really good football and won. And, I mean, some of that goes to South Carolina was just not a good football team last year. No. I think their 2 returning running backs combined for 290 yards last year. The 2 returners. So they're banking on a true freshman starting at running back.
Yeah. Feaster's gone. Dowdle's gone.
And I think, is it Edwards? Was he the other running back?
Brian Edwards was their leading receiver.
Yeah, and he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
And, I mean, it's a
it's
lot of question on the offensive side of the ball.
Helinski, what's going to... And does Helinski start? Because Colorado State's...
Yeah.
So Mike Bobo takes over as OC, and their starting quarterback comes over.
I got to imagine it's Helinski, but, I mean, I don't think it's 100%. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair question to ask.
I mean, nothing in Helinski's game really impressed me, and that had a lot to do with his offensive line was absolutely terrible.
And they don't get better this year.
No, I mean, I think they return 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean,
but still, like they were bad last year.
Yeah, it's not like they were like missing a few pieces. I mean, Tennessee's pass rush was very underwhelming, and they had no problem getting to Helinski. So, I'm with you. I don't see this. Does Will Muschamp make it to the Tennessee game 6 games in?
I don't know. Oh, well, I mean, like you said, they could be 4-1 when they get there.
They could be. That's what's crazy is they could be. I mean, they could legitimately win, what did we say, 8 games, but finish in the same spot in the SEC East.
Yeah.
That's what's wild to me about it. Let's see. I'll count their definite win games. 1, 2. I don't even know I don't think I can call Kentucky a definite win.
Or Missouri.
Yeah, 3, 4 definite wins, and then probably. So I'd say they're probably 6-6 at the most, right? Let's call Tennessee a swing game because I just got to see stuff from Tennessee. 7-5 at best.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah,
it's bad.
But that might be 7-5 is enough to keep Muschamp around. Yeah, no doubt in my mind.
But yeah, 7-5. That's going to be tough when I don't think they can score very many points.
No.
And you're banking on 2. You got 2 5-star defensive tackles in Zach Pickens and Jordan Birch.
Yeah, you're banking on a lot of freshmen that are going to. Yeah. You need to be impact players.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee's banking on a few. When you look at the flip side of that, Tennessee's banking on a few to be. I don't even know if the impact players just to be able to play. Really.
Yeah. To provide some depth.
Yeah.
But these guys need to perform.
They're hoping they come in. I mean, they have marked Marshawn Lloyd as a starter on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, I guess South Carolina hasn't, but every South Carolina outlet, every beat writer has marked Marshawn Lloyd as a starting running back.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's a lot of questions.
It's going to be interesting. I think Tennessee's offensive line has their way with South Carolina. I just, Kinlaw was their best player, and he had 1 tackle against Tennessee.
Right.
Wanham, I think, had 3.
Yeah.
Brunson had 10. So, Tennessee just dominated through the air that game.
Yeah.
And kind of, I look for Jim Chaney to do the same thing.
Right.
You want to attack that front 7 that's pretty weak, but you had your way with those DBs last year. I think you do a lot of the same stuff.
I hope so.
Until they stop it, and then you can run the ball down the throat.
Right, and it's going to be tough to attack him in the same way you did last year. You talk about losing Juwan and Callaway, both of those guys who had touchdowns in that game. So you are going to have to attack them differently probably, or at least to start the game. But you kind of hope Palmer's able to do something similar. You talk about the speed of Jalen Hyatt. That was one thing Marquez Callaway did really well was he got in behind him. So hope speed can, and there's plenty. There's more speed than just Jalen Hyatt, but he's probably the most flat.
And the good thing about South Carolina is with Muschamp being a defensive minded guy, they're going to send people all the time.
Oh yeah.
And so they're playing a lot of man.
Right.
And so if you're able to beat one guy, you're probably gone.
Right.
I mean, Chai Smith, perfect example, gone, 75 yards.
Dude, I about cried.
That was
I
rough.
was so excited about.
Even when I rewatched it, I was like, man, that sucks.
And that douchebag was sitting in front of me too, and he was a douchebag before the game even started, and turned around and said something, and I couldn't talk trash yet.
I was like,
I saved it though. As soon as it was clear we were winning, I started running my mouth. I
haven't even sipped my beer yet. They're already up 7-0.
I think that was the game I spilled a guy's beer. That was very upsetting. I had to buy a guy a $12 beer.
Dude, so does Mike Bobo, does he turn around an offense?
Hell no.
I don't think so either.
No.
Did
Mike Bobo.
Muschamp just like bring somebody in hoping like, I just got to change something so I don't get fired? Do you think that's what it was?
I mean, it's a good old boys club. That's the bottom line. He's got SEC connections. He's probably friends with Muschamp. Like,
and Will Friend should know that offense like the back of his hand. So
yeah, that's
true.
I
mean, should
provide plenty of insight to that.
Right? Yeah.
You're right. I don't know. I don't understand the Mike Bobo hire.
I'm glad we did.
I don't think I wanted to keep Tracy Rocker. Let's be clear about that. But I don't know if I understand like hiring him away. I think they paid him more. I don't really get that. Like, do you go and try to hire someone who's done decent at another SEC school that beat you last year? It's just a weird move. And for Tracy Rocker, he was going home. I get him going there. Like, I'd probably do the same thing. But I don't from a Muschamp. Like, if you go and read a bunch of South Carolina coverage right now, it's like, oh, there's a big hire in getting Tracy Rocker this year. It's like, how big was it? I mean, it's a good hire, I guess. But how big of a hire is it?
Right.
Is it impactful? I don't know about that.
Probably not. And you know, it's if it's not recruiting, like how impactful really can you be as a defensive line coach?
And I don't know who like I don't know what happened to their previous one. Did he leave? Did they fire him? I guess that's my biggest question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because if he got fired, I 100% don't understand. If he left it, I understand the Tracy Rocker hire. Mm-hmm. But I guess it really just depends on the situation before it. Yep. Other than that, I don't know. So
I do know what Pruitt's gonna do. That
blitz all night.
Yeah, yes. I actually wrote that down. Look.
We blitz all night.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, with Helinski and that terrible offensive line, I think you just go get him.
Yeah, absolutely.
You destroy him.
Helinski's not mobile enough to.
Yeah.
To,
I feel bad for the kid because he got annihilated last year. But hey, you signed up for that.
Yeah, you're the one who you willingly walked into Neyland. All right.
Yeah, you're on the West Coast and went to the East Coast to get obliterated, so that's on you.
Absolutely. I just don't. I mean, there's going to be a lot of questions for Tennessee coming into this game, but looking at everything we know as of today about South Carolina, and that's a good thing about we get to cover this. That's why I want to do this. We get to talk about South Carolina early on, and we'll find out how wrong we were. But everything we know about South Carolina right now, I just don't see Tennessee losing to them. If they do, I mean, I think you're going to be asking about what Jeremy Pruitt's about, because you should know plenty about your team by that point.
Yeah, I think the good thing about doing these previews right now is like no one's gonna remember in September when we play them.
Yeah,
or October. Is it September?
I think it's second week of October.
Yeah, October. No one's gonna remember. Oh, those guys are idiots. Yeah, they're not gonna remember that.
Will they remember if we're right though? Because that's what's really important.
Probably not. So it's a little. I mean.
Oh well. Yeah.
You don't get the blame. Don't get the credit.
Okay, so Tennessee going into let me read off their schedule. Well, okay. Let's do South Carolina first. What's their record coming into this game?
So they have 5 games.
They have 5 games. It's they're 2 out of conference, and then it's Kentucky, Missouri, Florida. I think Missouri, Kentucky, Florida.
I think 3-2.
3-2. I think that's a safe bet, but I think I'm gonna go on the high end because I don't know. If you're on the hot seat and they know their coach is on the hot seat, you're going to play a little bit harder, right?
You would think.
Especially early on in the year when both teams are kind of figuring everything out. Yeah. Missouri is going to be trying to figure stuff out. Kentucky, they might have a little bit figured out, but they also lost quite a bit too, especially when you're talking about there's still going to be a lot of questions at quarterback.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go. You said 3-2. I'm just gonna, for the sake of argument, I'm gonna go on the high end of that and go 4-1. I think they're only lost to Florida coming into the Tennessee game.
Yeah, I would say Kentucky, Florida.
Okay. Yeah, that's who I would say their 2 losses would be too.
And dude,
if I pick 3
and
2.
if Missouri beat them, I wouldn't be.
shocked.
No.
I wouldn't be. Because at that point, you're probably just controlling the game, right?
Right.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Dude, where do you see him finishing then? You have 3 2 going to Tennessee.
So I have them. That'll be 3 3.
I'll go 5 7. I got them 5 7. I looked at their schedule. I looked at it earlier today, and I thought, they could finish 6 6, 7 5. Now I'm going 5 7.
Yeah, I'm going. So you think
talking
4
with you about
1,
it.
and they only beat Wofford?
Well, I think it could be 4 1. Yeah, because okay. I guess I should say that they're either going to finish 6 6 or 5 7. If they beat Kentucky, 6 6. If they don't beat Kentucky, 5 7. So that means their only wins would come over Vanderbilt and Wofford in the second half of the season.
Yeah, that's what I'm picking.
So yeah, 5 7.
Yeah. 5
So
7.
yeah, I guess that Kentucky game will be that hinge game. And maybe a Kentucky win. Has a Kentucky win ever been a team like, oh yeah, we're good enough to do this. We can beat anybody now.
Right.
Conquer the world.
That's not a great speech. Like, dude,
they beat Georgia. Was it the week before us? They beat Georgia. 2 weeks before. 2 weeks before us. 3 weeks, I guess, because we had a bye going at Alabama.
Yeah. Well, what was it?
So they played Georgia. We had a bye. And
Yeah,
then Alabama.
they played Florida and got beat, and then they played us.
Yeah. If a Georgia win can't.
Dude, and
Can't
I think
motivate you to-
that Georgia played so bad, and South Carolina played like their best game.
Yeah.
And they still won by 3 in double overtime. That I don't even know if it was celebrated. It was definitely celebrated as a win, but it was like nothing you could build on.
Oh no.
It was like, man, we played like crap, and we barely won.
Yeah. No, it was Blankenship missed 2 field goals in that game.
Yeah, Goggle Dog never misses 2.
Someone commented because you used the CMAG as the countdown the other day, and someone commented and said CMAG over Blankenship. And I commented back, and I was like, all day, every day of the week, every day of the week. Yeah, no.
So
CMAG deserves the love.
What we got next?
We got let's talk about some of these award watch lists.
Okay. Yeah, so Henry To'oTo'o was added to the Bednarik Award watch list. That is awarded to the best defensive player in college football.
Nice.
He's a sophomore. I think he was one of only 2 sophomores, and the other was Derek Stingley Jr. at LSU.
Nice.
Which, Derek Stingley Jr., I heard in the national championship, did they not talk about like how Coach O promised his dad that they would let him try offense after his freshman year? I'm pretty sure that's
Well, then that can't happen now, right? Coach O's gonna be like, you got drilled.
yeah. I mean,
I
I think the kid stays over there. But,
yeah, and I mean the kid would kind of be dumb.
Oh yeah, because he
move over
would have been probably would have been drafted in the first round if he came out this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, Henry To'oTo'o making that list. I mean, dude, he is so valuable to Tennessee's team, and he was so valuable last year as a true freshman. If we didn't have him, we would have struggled.
Oh yeah.
Especially when Daniel Petulli wasn't there.
I mean, I guess we couldn't have struggled any more than we did. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it would have been a lot worse, but and I think he's just as valuable, if not more, this season without Daniel.
I would
Petulli.
say more valuable this season than he was last year. And then,
Yeah.
like you said, that's a lot because you probably never find a consistent starter next to Petulli if you don't have
No.
If you don't have
It would have been
To'oTo'o.
rough, especially after Ignat and Shannon Reed, and Jeremy Banks. They could have maybe filled a void a little bit, but when they transferred, you were paper thin at that position,
Right.
or when Banks got kicked off. But we won't talk about that. And then Eric Gray, it was named to the Doak Walker Award watch. That's given to the college football's best running back. Just a sophomore again. We talked about this.
Sophomores, man.
This is proof that Jeremy Pruitt is getting the kind of talent in here that he needs to compete with.
Yeah.
Georgia, Florida, Alabama.
No, 100%. I mean, pretty high. Obviously, not only Tennessee's high on these sophomores, but so is the country. And I mean, I don't think I think there's always questions when freshmen have really good seasons about sophomore slump. I don't even think you could really call Eric Gray like a breakout freshman. I mean, if he has a sophomore slump, it's probably he just wasn't that great of a player because he only had 2 great games.
Yeah.
So hopefully he just builds off those that kind of hype doesn't necessarily get to him. And To'o could be the same way, but man, linebacker's a little bit different than playing on the offensive side of the ball, so I'd be surprised if you see a drop off in his play. I mean, does he improve? It's gonna be difficult to improve on how he played, but I think the only area you probably ask him to improve is getting into the backfield.
Yeah, no, I just think just learning, because he was just kind of thrown in there. He wasn't an early enrollee, so he just had to adapt to the speed of the game.
Trial by fire.
And he had 72 tackles, 5 for loss, a half a sack, and then a fumble recovery.
I think he was third on the team list, wasn't he, for tackles?
I think
Batuli was the leader.
Batuli, and was Najee Warrior next?
I don't know about next, but I'd say he was on that list.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
He might have been second then.
Second, maybe.
Yeah, it would have been one of those two, I would guess, probably.
I was going to say. Oh, was Trey Smith named to a watch list?
So he was named, so Phil Steele came out with his preseason All-American list, and Trey Smith was on that. And then Tennessee had a couple of, I think they had 8 on his All-SEC teams.
Was Cade Mays named to an All-American watch list or just
I think
All-SEC?
he was
All-American.
All-American.
I thought so.
List. I don't remember which list it was, but I think he was on there.
To'o led the team in tackles.
He had set
in total tackles. 72. Daniel Batuli had 69. Najee Warrior had 60. And solo, Daniel Batuli led.
Okay.
And Henry To'o was third in solo. That's according to sports-reference.com, which is where I get all my stats. It's the best one, according to me.
Yeah. I just... When's the last time we had some of those players on that list? It had to be like 2016, right?
I would guess the last guys on that list. The last guy on that list might have been AJ. Maybe the watch list. I could see Reeves Maben making the watch list, but my safe bet's Alexander Johnson. Oh, not Austin Johnson.
Yeah.
Alexander Johnson. So,
Man,
yeah.
That's crazy. Well, best defensive player, Derek Barnett would probably be on that list.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking he was. Yeah, I guess he was there the year
running
after,
back.
2 years.
Jalen Hurd and
Jalen Hurd maybe. I don't know if I could see Alvin Kamara being on that going into his junior year. I don't know. Jalen Hurd probably would have been on it. Preseason watch list. Maybe John Kelly on the preseason watch list.
Yeah,
I can look that up real quick. I'd say so. I don't know. We had a question about Florida, and before we answer it, we'll answer it real quick, just quickly. But we actually did an entire preview on Tennessee, Florida, and we also kind of preview Florida. Our entire preview, because we're a Tennessee podcast, is based around like the Tennessee-Florida game, but we also talk about where we think Florida will finish and kind of where we expect them to be coming into the Tennessee game as well. So make sure you go check that out. But the question was preview predictions for Florida this season. I think we both kind of agreed they could be anywhere between 8-3, 10-1 type deal this season, probably where they're finishing, and could be playing in Atlanta.
8-4, you mean?
Yeah, 8-4. Sorry.
Okay.
Not sorry. I didn't mean 8-4. Then 9-3 and I think I said 9-2. 9-3. Yeah, 8-4. I guess anywhere between 8-4 and 10-2. Is I guess what I was saying. Not 10-1. I was playing like 11 games for some reason. Yeah. So probably 9, anywhere between 9 and 11 wins. Okay. I think is where they should be.
Yep.
I misspoke.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I think this is I wanted Tennessee to be in Atlanta, and I don't think it's impossible, but I think the two teams that are probably going to be in Atlanta right now are Georgia or Florida.
Josh Pruitt says Banks is back. I think he's always been. Enrolled in class.
He has been enrolled in class since he has been removed from the team. He's been enrolled in class, so nothing's changed as far as his enrollment status. We have not heard if he's back. So
he's
not
not
a confirmation?
officially back on the team.
Yeah, at least they haven't announced it yet if he is. So.
Right.
I hope.
Well, I think we both think that he will be back.
I think there's a chance. I think there's going to have to be a lot of issues addressed, and so far it kind of goes into the same thing as compliance. I will have questions if he does come back, but Jeremy Pruitt hasn't done anything for me to question where he stands and how he handles players this far, so I won't be like worried about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's on. It's not the same thing as Juwan Jennings, but I think he'll have probably a hard time getting back like
Right.
Juwan Jennings did. He'll have to do a bunch of stuff to actually get back. If he does it, I think he'll be back. If he doesn't, then obviously he will not.
Right. Dude, is this real? I was trying to look up John Kelly, see if he was named to it. Apparently, he led all UT running backs with 630 yards in 2016. He was the leading rusher on that team? There's no way.
No, Josh Dobbs probably had more than that.
Dude, what the crap? Let me. Now I'm like I'm getting into a. That's insane. If that's real, does anybody know if that's real? Comment if that would be quite the trivia answer to get right, because you're talking about. I know Jalen Hurd was only on it for what five games.
Yeah.
Still, I could see him rushing for 630 yards in 5 games. Alvin Kamara and Josh Dobbs, and that would mean John Kelly was the leading rusher. That would be wild, because he probably didn't see any notable carries until.
It's definitely not in all-purpose yards, because Kamara
No.
would blow.
Is
He
it-
almost got that at Texas A&M.
Yeah, it said rushing yards.
Okay.
It said rushing yards. So that's 17. Okay. That was his most rushing yards. That's wild, dude, if that's real. That is wild. Golly.
I don't know. Josh Pruitt says, "Give me your thoughts on our D line this year."
Again, previewed it. Check it out on YouTube. We'll talk about it real quick. But
Yeah.
I do want to tell you that like we did like we probably talked about it for 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. So definitely go check that out, because we do talk about it pretty extensively. But yeah, we'll give the rundown real quick.
Yeah, the D line. I think you just gotta. You don't have a difference maker. You don't have a Javon Kinlaw. You don't have a Derek Barnett. You just got to build on what you did last year. They were improved last year. They're actually a big surprise to everybody of how well they actually played. You just got to build on that, and hopefully you're able to figure stuff out on the pass rushing position. But I think these guys are going to be expected to get to the quarterback too.
Yeah, and we talk about their how there's way more experience than there was last year, and was it 7 seniors? I always get this wrong. 7 seniors on this team. I mean, there should be plenty of depth, plenty of leadership, and high expectations. And then there's going to be some young guys, probably more talented young guys that should help you out as well.
Yep.
So, John Kelly did lead all. You're right about Josh Dobbs being the leading rusher on the team. John Kelly was the leading running back.
So how many did Dobbs have? 1,000 yards.
Dobbs he gained 1,000. He had 831 yards rushing. And then Alvin Kamara had just under 600, and Jalen Hurd had almost 500 yards. So
Dang.
yeah, in his 7 games.
That's wild.
7 games. Oh yeah, I forgot he returned for.
So Josh said he's new to our page. He's going to check it out.
We appreciate it. Go check it out. It's I'm not getting on you for being new, new guy.
guy.
But no, I mean we did, and we do go into depth when we preview these. So we encourage, and we post those to Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So we encourage you guys to go check those out, and because we put them out for you all. So we want you all to check them out. We dive into some depth, or we dive in a little bit more, because we have more time to talk about it. So.
Yep. You want to get to some what's next?
Let's talk some team news.
Yeah, some team news.
Yeah, because there's unfortunately, I guess, some bad news.
Yeah, so I guess we mentioned that some players tested positive when they got back from 4th of July, but I mean, you can't have hundreds of guys and just expect none of them to have.
Yeah, and a lot of them probably went home too, so they're traveling, and the guys that are local and can drive, I'd say, traveled, and then some people probably went home with the guys that are local, and they probably went and hung out with friends. Look at the age they are. I mean, adults went and hung out with their friends on July 4th.
Yeah, you unfortunately you can't keep these athletes in a bubble. I mean, that's just not the reality of it. So it was bound to happen, and I'm sure they're taking all the precautions, and quarantining and everything like that.
Right.
It's probably, looking at the bright side of it, it's probably being taken more serious on campus now that somebody has actually tested positive.
I would say so. Well, yeah, who knows? But we haven't heard a number either, so we don't know how many that is. It probably sounds like more than 1 or 2, unfortunately. Yeah. It sounds like it's probably more. Have not heard
it
of.
said multiple. I think Austin Price said multiple athletes.
Yeah, so several athletes probably, plus there were already 2 basketball players. Those basketball players are probably past quarantine now, so they're probably back to kind of normal. But hopefully this just hasn't spread yet. That's the hope. And because right now I'd say the NCAA is looking closely at each and every team that has cases pop up and to see if it spreads, how quickly it spreads, or if it spreads at all. And that's going to go in a way that's going to weigh in on the decision-making process as far as the season goes.
Yep.
And good news in team news is Uros is back on
Uros,
campus.
baby.
That was the last guy to return? Or is Santiago still?
I don't think Vescovi's back yet.
Still out in Uruguay?
Yeah. But Uros is back. And
It's good news.
a
Love
lot
to have the big man back on campus.
Yeah, a lot of people were underwhelmed with Uros. They thought he'd help a lot more. But, dude, we have to remember, this kid was basically a true freshman. He redshirted at Arizona State.
Right.
And then, transfers to Tennessee. So he was basically a redshirt freshman. And I do want to kind of remind you of the coach he's playing for now. And that's Rick Barnes, who
Ricky
can develop guys into, something players didn't even think they could be. Like, look at Yves Pons when he came on campus. We'll go with his sophomore year. He averaged 11.7 minutes and averaged 2.2 points per game. Uros, last year as a redshirt freshman, averaged 7.3 minutes and averaged 2.6 points per game. So actually averaged more points than Yves Pons. And I understand that Yves Pons had a better team around him to score points, but I think Uros will be just fine by the time he's done. Look like Yves Pons, 2.2 points per game. He was the defensive player of the year last year.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so.
And could possibly get drafted here in a couple
Right.
weeks.
And unfortunately, Uros just looked real lost last year.
Mm-hmm.
And the game was just probably too fast for him. Hopefully, with playing a little bit more at the college level now, the game's hopefully slowed down for him a little bit, and that potentially helps him out. Having a 7-footer to help protect the rim, even if it's not for the 30 minutes of the game or whatever, that helps a lot. If he's in there for 10, 15 minutes, if he's been drastically improved and you're able to play him 20 minutes, that helps a lot to have a guy in there that just makes people go away from the rim and having to score from the outside or having to even when they drive the lane, having to find creative ways to get to the basket. Having a dude that's just a physical specimen in front of the rim it's an effective tool to use.
Yeah, and he hasn't been the only Tennessee player to look lost. I mean, John Fulkerson looked lost for a couple years until he put it all together this year and was a All SEC first teamer. So I think let's let Rick Barnes do his job.
Right.
And I think Uros will be just fine by the time he leaves Tennessee.
Yep.
I mean, 7 feet. Good Lord. I mean, Grant, Admiral, Fulkerson, Pons, all undersized guys. At least this guy has some size. I mean, hopefully you can just work with that.
Hopefully so. That's my hope. That's all I got for team news. You got anything else?
You want to get some recruiting news? Just
Yes.
throw in some
Let's
stuff.
do it.
This wasn't on the thing, but I think it needs to be talked about. So, Tennessee, the big news is 5-star point guard Kennedy Chandler out of Memphis, who has Tennessee in his top 5, is trending toward Tennessee.
Yeah, I was
Some
kind of
crystal
surprised.
balls.
Kind of surprised.
I just think getting that first 5-star in Josiah Jordan-James, I think it put everybody on notice. Oh, Tennessee can recruit.
Yeah.
And so they and then we have success. And then that leads to more 5-stars. And then you see the development and getting guys to the NBA. I mean, that's all you can ask for in a program. And so for Kennedy Chandler to be kind of a Tennessee guy, I know he's big buddies with Amari Thomas, who is here for football. I'm sure that is an added bonus. And maybe he's able to attract some more of those 5-star. Maybe Harrison Ingram, Paolo Banchero comes with him. Who knows?
I wouldn't be upset about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's huge, especially, we're looking at this year and the guards. We're just so depleted at the guard position. And now we can't get enough of them.
I'd love some big men now.
Yeah.
I'll take the 5-star guards. I will. I'm not complaining, but I would love to. I'd love to maybe get some big men in there too, especially some high-rated big men. It'd be fun.
I like the beef. Speaking of beef,
Where's the beef?
Amarius Mims
Oh yeah, that would be a big get.
having Tennessee in his top 6, with Georgia, Florida State, Auburn, Alabama, and who was the other one? Oklahoma. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a huge thing, and I think it's going to be a long shot, but hey, you're still in it. Mm-hmm. You're giving yourself a chance. Cochran, Georgia, not too far away. Who does it say who his leading recruiter is? It doesn't. For Tennessee, I'm sure Brian Niedermeyer's probably on that.
I bet he has a hand in it.
Yeah,
I bet.
But hey, if he's supposed to make his decision August 15th, so we got a month to sway him to Tennessee. It's going to be tough to keep Georgia and Alabama out of it, but I don't think this one's going to be over until signing day.
I'd bet too. I mean, the commitment will definitely probably help one team,
especially
rather than the other,
there's going to be a lot of things open if campuses open up where guys can visit, and I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but if it does, there's going to be a lot of movement and be like, oh, I need to reevaluate and go visit some places.
And it could be something that really affects Tennessee too, because you had a lot of guys commit without visiting places and without visiting Tennessee.
Yep.
Who's the guy that's committing in July this month? Who was it?
I don't know. Peyton Page?
Huh?
Peyton Page?
Maybe. I don't know. I meant to ask about him, but now I don't even know who it is. So that's unfortunate. Oh well.
But Jeremy Pruitt, he's one that will pull off a miracle.
Yeah, the unthinkable, man.
He performs miracles on National Signing Day. So
I went and watched I meant to send it to you. I'll send it to you. I don't know if you want to watch the full hour and 15 minutes, but he does a full hour and 15 minutes at a coaches conference about split safety coverage, and it is hilarious how just calm, cool, collected. I mean, there's no stuttering, there's a lot of ites. A ton of ite.
Yeah.
Where he's talking to the coaches about football.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't bat an eye.
That's awesome.
Media scares the absolute bejesus out of him. Talking to a bunch of football coaches, that's his life. That's what he needs.
That's why we hired
his
the guy.
comfort place.
Yeah, that's what we needed. A guy that's just, I don't do media, but hey, I know football. Okay,
right.
Hired.
Well, and what's really funny too is I was talking to Coach Winry over at South Doyle, and I was telling him, I was like, you've probably already seen it, but I watched it the other day. And he was like, yeah, I did. And the funny thing is, I don't know if it was mentioned in this video or if it was another video. He stood up and he's like, he names off, he's like Kirby and a bunch of other guys. He's like, they won't tell you this stuff. He goes, they think they got something special. He goes, it ain't that. Everybody does it. It ain't that special. He's like, I'm gonna show you what we do. He goes, and we're still gonna beat you.
I love it. I mean, that's just another. Football is his life.
Yeah.
What do you say? Like he was like, if I wasn't a football coach, that's the only thing I'm good at. I'd be homeless.
Tennessee had some linebacker commits also get some recognition. Terrence Lewis and Aaron Willis were both named to preseason the All-American list by Max Preps.
Yep. Terrence Lewis was the first team, and I think Aaron Willis was the second team.
Gotcha. Nice.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, that's we talked about the linebackers being depleted last year, replacing them.
Yeah,
that's what you got to do.
For sure. Anything else? Team news?
That's all I got.
What about Derrick Henry getting signed? Do you know what his contract is?
I think it's $50 million, 25.5.
So how long of a deal is it?
4 years.
I was about to say it must have been a long deal.
Yep.
Nice. I'm not a big fan of paying running backs that much money, but at the same time, when you got a good running back, don't let him go. So
yeah, that's.
Sorry, when you have a great running back, you don't let him go.
No, especially the one of his caliber. Do not. You had to do it. Like, who else were you going to give that money to? You weren't going to give it to.
You didn't go get Tom.
Corey Davis. You had to give it.
No. Yeah, I thought that was.
I mean, he basically. Ryan Tannehill didn't have to pass a lot in the playoffs because Derrick Henry just kind of had the team on his back the whole time.
I think a lot of Titans fans were worried that the organization would fumble this, and thankfully they didn't.
Yeah, I feel like the Titans organization is finally doing stuff correct. I mentioned it today on Twitter that they're doing well in the draft. They're not drafting Jake Locker and guys like that. They're drafting quality guys.
Yep.
They have a coach that people just freaking love to death.
Right.
And now they're keeping their best players.
So if he said, so here's my question.
Okay.
Did Did Vrabel say he would cut off his penis anytime he won a Super Bowl, or was it just last year?
I think it was just last year.
Okay, I was going to say, that's a really stupid thing to say as a football coach, or as a coach. You're like, if I win the championship, I'm going to cut off my penis. Because then you kind of put yourself in a really tough position.
Yeah. I mean, then if you win, you're like, damn.
I would
like
not.
you can't just win and celebrate and just have that.
I wouldn't test the football gods.
Yeah, that cutting your penis off. That's always in the back of your mind. Even if you win a Super Bowl,
I mean,
that's part of you, man.
I think you got. I think if he said any time, I think he's got to do it if he ever wins the Super Bowl because
there's not really going back from that.
I don't think you would.
Science and technology. There's really no going back from that.
I just can't imagine the football gods letting you win another game after that. So,
if you don't cut off,
if you say that and don't do it, I think his wife even said she would do it for him, which is very disturbing. I think
she's actually thought about this before.
Well, I think she was like, he doesn't use it anyways, so I think that was a joke. It's like, I'll do it because it's not like he gets any use out of it. Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah,
at least he's got football in his life.
Yeah, he's a football guy.
Oh, man. We got any questions?
I do have one. Chad Lane said, think the season will go on after the recent announcement of multiple athletes testing positive for COVID. I think we mentioned it kind of earlier in the show that we think there'll be some kind of football, at least tried.
Right.
Because I think if there's money to be made, it's football. So I think it will be tried. Will it finish? I don't know. Will it start on time? I don't think so. But I think there'll be some sort of season played out, whether it's conference only, whether it's whatever.
I think the question is, let's see how if it spreads, because these guys got it probably not on campus. Mm-hmm. So let's see if it spreads when it's on campus. I think that's going to tell you a lot of how the NCAA makes their decision. So It looks like UT is planning on going back. They released a video of how the classrooms would look today.
Knox County's going back too, so that's
Knox County's going back August 17th.
What date were they supposed to go back?
I think that's a week after.
Okay, so they're supposed to go back at 10th.
I think.
Okay.
Don't hold me to that.
That's what I thought. I thought it was a little bit later than what it was.
Yeah. Got any more?
That's all I got.
That's all we got.
Jumbotron.
Let's get into it. We liked the Will Ferrell favorite Will Ferrell movies last week, so we're gonna kind of stay on the same topic here, similar topic, I guess. Adam Sandler movies. Which there's way too. I hate same with Will Ferrell. I guess you made me dwindle it down to 3, but Adam Sandler, man, love that guy. Love that Jew.
He's great.
He's fantastic. I'll go first. Happily go first. My first one's Billy Madison.
It's a great one.
Again, just the quotable movies, man. They get me.
Yeah.
Big quote guy.
One of mine is, I think this has to do with the staff, or not the staff, the other characters in it.
Yeah.
What is that called?
The supporting characters.
The cast.
Yeah, the cast. Supporting characters. Yeah.
Grown-ups.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a bunch of stars. That's not even supporting cast.
Yeah.
I watched that movie. I think it's on Netflix right now, or maybe Hulu, one or the other.
It's so good. I always find myself laughing. No matter a lot of movies, if I watch them over and over again, I stop laughing. That's one of the movies I always
see. Like the Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler movies, the more I watch them, the more I laugh at.
Yeah, because you pick up on stuff.
Yeah,
yeah.
You get some.
Or you're like, wait for this.
That's a good one. My second one is Mr. Deeds. Underrated Adam Sandler movie, I think, but man, it is a fantastic one. I actually think it's on Netflix or Hulu One, and we watched it. This has been a couple weeks ago. I made Emily watch it. She'd never seen it. She loved it, thankfully. I was like, this could be a turning point in our relationship.
Better like it. My next one is The Longest Yard.
Wow. Okay.
That's kind of
surprising.
Guy. There's my pitch.
I don't know if there's a lot of Longest Yard fans necessarily, so that's a.
Is there not? Are you a Longest Yard fan?
It's all right. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's all right. I don't hate it.
You don't like the kiss the guards thing? That's hilarious to me.
What are we gonna do? I mean, it's a good movie, but when we talk about Adam Sandler movies, I think
what's the guy's name in it? The terrible player.
The terrible player. Who?
Brucey, is that?
Yeah, Brucey's he's in a bunch of Adam Sandler movies. He's in the I watched I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. It's on Netflix. Probably a couple nights ago.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
And he's in that one. I think he's kind of a similar gay character where he's like closeted and
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, Bruce. He's like, Brucey, go kick off. He's like, Bruce can't kick where the shit. He's like, I know. Recover the ball.
My last one is Happy Gilmore. Classic.
That's a good one.
If you play golf, every time I play golf, I'm gonna quote someone I play with or myself is gonna quote Happy Gilmore at least once. At least, like minimum.
Every time you're in your backswing.
Jackass.
You took one of mine. I was either gonna go Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore, but for the sake of this, I'll go Waterboy. That's a good one. You can't.
Waterboy is a good one. That was that's probably maybe my fourth or fifth. That's a great one. We were actually talking about that. Was that last night? 2 nights ago? We were quoting it. Go run laps with Farmer Fran.
Yeah, Farmer Fran in that movie cracks me up.
Dude, he's a heck of a special teams coach. I don't care what anybody says. It's the first black kicker in Southeast Louisiana State history. I don't even know if that's a true fact, but I've got to imagine it's true.
Did you watch Uncut Gems?
I did, and what was funny about it?
So weird.
It was. What was hilarious about it? I'm such just an idiot. I watched it and I was like, man, I just didn't like it that much. I didn't like the ending. I was like, I just don't.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna necessarily spoil it for you all. If you haven't seen it, you need to go. I think you need to watch it because I look back and I was like, I liked it because the only thing I didn't like about it was the ending.
Yeah, that's true.
And then a couple days later, I don't know who I was talking to. I was riding in the car and I was like, man, I want someone to write a movie where it ends just abruptly and makes no sense. Because I feel like so many movies have this because it's the way a movie outline should be resolved. Like they present the problem, or show how you solve the problem and solve the problem. It's like I want them to, like they presented the problem, showed how you solved the problem, you thought they solved the problem and then didn't. And I was like, that's like,
Uncut Gems.
I loved it. And they didn't only, like, what was crazy about them is they made it so much more interesting because they didn't only, like, not solve the problem. I guess what drove me nuts about it is they didn't only not solve the problem, they created an entirely different problem.
Yep.
And I'm like, what happens next? And, you kind of want to know, and you never really find out. So.
Yeah, they thought they got the best
Yeah.
of the problem, but they didn't.
But there's another issue, too, because you're talking about, I guess this isn't spoiling it, he wins the bet. They don't have the money yet.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, the money, the most money is on its way back. You got to imagine those guys wanted that.
Yep.
So there's a whole nother, I guess that's my biggest issue with it. But at the same time, I'm like, I wanted a movie like that, and I got it.
Yep.
So, it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, it was weird.
Kevin Garnett's not the greatest actor, but it's all right.
He's not. But he got paid for it, so.
I'm sure he got a nice payday. Was that a Netflix movie? Or was it?
It was a Netflix.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay. Like it was originally released on Netflix? See, I don't even think I watched it for like the first year.
Yeah, I didn't watch it until like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that was me probably a month ago now. Have you watched the Andy Samberg movie? I don't even know what it's called.
Daddy's Boy? Or That's My Boy?
No. That's the Adam Sandler movie, isn't it?
Oh, that's what I thought you were talking about.
The new Andy Samberg movie.
Oh, no. I thought that's... Because he's in That's My Boy.
Is he?
Yeah, he's the boy.
He's the boy? That's Andy Samberg?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That is shocking.
That's him, right?
Oh, I'm thinking of... what movie am I thinking of? Little Nicky. That's the movie I'm thinking of. Is that it? Is that what it's called?
Little Nicky? Who's Andy Samberg? Who are you thinking of?
I'm talking about Adam Sandler's movie. Hold on a second. I'll find it. But
Yeah,
Andy Samberg just released a new movie. I think it's on Hulu. I think it's a Hulu movie. Maybe it's not new. I don't know. I swear he's in it. Like someone was talking about the other day how he's in a new movie. I'll look it up real quick.
You want to get to...
Yeah, let's go into
Stupidity real
Stupidity. It's me for not knowing. I'm not good with movies. I like movies, but I'm not good with them.
Yeah.
So I'm the first Stupidity. I'll go ahead and do that.
That's my thing. I'm doing my Avengers rewatch. I'm gonna watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2 tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm flying through it.
My biggest problem with movies is I can't always separate the actors from the movie. Like, you know how a lot of people can be like, oh, they're in that movie, and that movie, and that movie. I just see them, like, I watch the movie and I see them as, like, that character in that movie.
Do you have
And that's-
IMDb, the app?
Yeah, that's like Emily.
So that's why
it drives Emily nuts because I'll be in a movie and I'm like, who do I know them from?
I do the same thing.
She's like, put your phone down.
That's
I'm like,
that's the
I
best way
gotta
to
know.
learn. Yeah, that's the best way to learn though.
It's not Popstar. Popstar was the dumbest movie ever, but funny. Did you ever
Talking
watch
about,
it?
Are you talking about Eurovision?
Maybe. No, that's Will Ferrell. We talked about that last week.
That was a terrible movie. It's so bad. But it's
No.
like it's one that it's on Netflix. You're like, oh, this is like in the top 10. I'm gonna watch it.
I was thinking of Big Daddy. I was like, that's Andy Samberg, the kid.
Oh,
I was like, that's
Dylan and Cole Sprouse.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty
Sweet
crazy
Life,
too.
baby.
I'll look up who it is. It is, yeah, Cole Sprouse.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy.
Yep.
I guess they both play him. Wow.
Yeah.
That's weird to me. Just
Yeah.
like your parents can't let one kid have it. It's unfair.
Yeah. It's
Who's the
Full-
better actor?
It's like Full House.
Yeah.
With Michelle.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's like a full like
Show.
How many seasons did Full House have? I feel like it was on forever.
They got Fuller House now on Netflix.
Yeah, that I watched one season. It was the dumbest thing ever. I was like, oh, I watched Full House all the time growing up.
Yeah.
This is dumb.
Yeah, it wasn't
Palm Springs is the new Andy Samberg movie.
No, I haven't seen
I
that.
don't know what it's on. Apparently, it's pretty good. I don't know. No, the yeah, Big Daddy. When you said it was Andy Samberg and Big Daddy, I was like, mind fucking blown. I was like, what? Yes, that's my boy. Okay, that's the two I confused. So, yeah, That's My Boy is a good movie though. It's not the best Adam Sandler movie, but
No.
it's funny. That's all I'm looking for. Looking for comedy.
Let's get to Stupidity. I don't have a ton.
Dude, have you seen? I don't think I can play the Burger King song on here because I'm sure there's a license on it. You
yes.
watched it?
With the
Did you see the Chicago
Yoda boy?
thing? Did you see like the Chicago thing, the census announcement?
I didn't.
The city of Gotham had a real difficult challenge. One of the things that the mayor there did is he called out and he sent out the distress signal to Batman. So, we are doing something similar for the census. And I'm happy to report
Let's play Old Town Road.
I'm calling out the census cowboy.
I have to mute that. For the people that can't see this, they are now bringing out an actual person on a horse in the city of Chicago, titled the Census Cowboy. Is his name? They're sending out the cowboy signal.
I thought they were like actually gonna have Lil Nas X come out, and
I kind of thought so too at first. I was like, oh, that's
but
kind
it's just a random guy on a horse.
random dude.
Response rate. And
What in the world?
It's time to giddy up. Let's do this, Chicago.
let's make the census cowboy proud. Thank you very
That's like,
Dude,
like
this world has gone mad.
Chicago and Cowboys. That doesn't even make sense.
I'm just like, Census Cowboy, is that like, maybe it has some kind of historical reference? I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Did you like try to go on like a EDM artist name maker and get Census Cowboy and thought that was a great idea?
I mean, someone was like, we need a mascot for the census. And they're like, threw out probably some like pretty good ideas. And they're like, has to have alliteration. That's my only requirement. Cowboy. Easy.
Not Cocker Spaniel or
Dude, it's incredible. Like, I don't think it has any historical context. I think they made it up. And that's the worst part of it all.
oh my god.
Yeah. That's the dumbest thing ever.
So you're gonna like this, because I'm not saying Community's bad, but this is a bad take.
If you're hating on Community, get
No,
out.
no, I'm not. But
Okay, alright.
it's Charlie Collier said the worst episode of Community is, it's one and then a lot of zeros times better than the best episode of The Office.
Oh, yeah, that's not true. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I love
that's-
Community.
Yeah, I've watched it and I've laughed. And
Yeah.
It's funny.
No.
But yeah, that's a bad take.
No. I mean, I don't even know. Like, I haven't watched enough Community to say what the worst episode is. But I don't know. Okay, so what's your worst episode of The Office, by the way? Just let's play this game.
Oh, it's Scott's Tots.
See, I love how awkward it is.
Dude,
I
it
love
drives me
It's like,
insane.
and I got you laptop batteries. Wait. They're lithium.
I know, it's so bad.
I love it. It used to make me so awkward, but now I'm like, I wish I could have been in that room when it happened.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, it would have been awesome if it was real.
Yeah, it's so cringe though.
I love it. I mean, I would hate to be like in Aaron's situation. I would not want to be in that room. But and I love when Stanley explains what's happening. And he's like, crap, you can't even get through it. Oh, it's great. See, I don't know. I don't know like what the worst episode of The Office is. It probably has to do with like Nelly. That's my guess.
Do you have any more stupidities?
I think so. Hold on. Let me roll through this.
I have a tweet for you, and this made me think of you. It's not a stupidity.
Okay.
But this girl said, all my common sense leaves my body as soon as one of my friends says you won't.
I feel that on a personal level.
You do that to me all the time. Like no one else, anybody else, like you won't.
You need a challenge, man.
Okay, I'm not going to do it. But anytime Caleb challenged me, it's like, it's on.
I didn't know I had that kind of power.
You just have that
I didn't know that.
Your voice. It's just like...
I had just found out I had that kind of power. That's nice.
Yeah,
That's
I
nice.
probably shouldn't have admitted that.
No, you probably shouldn't. That's a dangerous game you just played. This is not a stupidity. I'm done with stupidity. Do you have any more?
No, I'm good.
Wait, okay, hold on. I do have like kind of a stupidity. So did you see where Cam Newton and
Bill Belichick?
not Bill Belichick, offense coordinator. What's his name? Ryan? What is his name? Crap. Why'd you do this to me? Patriots offense coordinator. Anyways, he told him, I guess, like in a conversation that he just opened up a side of the playbook.
Josh McDaniels.
That he didn't know existed, and everyone was like, "Oh, Cam Newton coming for Tom Brady." Blah blah blah. Okay, Tom Brady as of today is better than Cam Newton as a quarterback.
Yeah.
But that's fact that he did just open a side of the play or a part of the playbook he never knew. Cam Newton can do more things in the playbook than Tom Brady can. That's a fact.
He can run.
He can not just run, get out of the pocket.
He can move.
I'm like, that's a fact. And everyone's like, oh, Cam Newton. I'm like, he didn't say he was better than Tom Brady. He said there's parts of the playbook now that were never used that can be used now. And hot take, Cam Newton's going to be more successful at New England than Tom Brady in 1 year than Tom Brady was.
Ooh.
Or let's say probably like what, the last... It's hard to say because Tom Brady won Super Bowls. That's the defining factor, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
See, you think like stats-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I see. What's hard to say though is like I need Cam Newton to just buy in with he. I know it's hard to say. Don't argue with because maybe Cam Newton has some things that are right, but Bill Belichick knows what to do. Just trust him. Just trust him.
I'll say Cam Newton is more.
He's more physically gifted. There's zero doubt in my mind.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say talented, but I kind of want to say talented.
I think physically gifted is the right
because
word.
like if you looked at both of these guys, you watched them warm up and everything like that, and you went up to him like, all right, Landon, who's your first pick? I want one. I want that guy.
I think that's the physically gifted part because when you talk about talent, you're probably going to mix in a lot of what they know and a lot of what they do. And I'm not saying Cam Newton doesn't know as much, if not more than Tom Brady, but that's not proven fact yet.
Right.
But the big thing is like, what? And it takes a lot on Cam Newton too. You have to know where those guys are going to be in your progressions. But Tom Brady wasn't asked to make a lot of difficult throws in New England. If Cam Newton can have that same kind of process, he's going to be better. There's no question about it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And especially when you talk about if defenses couldn't take away the freaking inside against New England this year, what are they going to do when they have to man up on him to be able to attack Cam Newton? What are they going to be able to do now to the slot? Mm-hmm. Nothing.
Yeah, I think the reason that Tom Brady was so good is like he knew his limits.
Yeah.
And so he perfected everything else.
Right.
So like it's tough to beat somebody like that. If they're perfect in what they do, that it's hard to beat them.
Right. But I mean, Tom Brady's good, but I think Bill Belichick had a lot to do with that.
Oh yeah, and we'll find out.
And Josh McDaniel.
Yeah, we'll find out.
That's true. We will.
It's gonna be fun.
I agree though. Like I mean, when you talk about the physical gifted part, Cam Newton's definitely more physically gifted than Tom Brady. So I don't know. Cam Newton is a little bit of a head case. That's the only thing that scares me about him.
Yeah, he's got health problems too.
He does. Yeah. He's got to go on that vegan diet, that Tom Brady vegan diet.
Yeah. I don't know. He's like. And I don't know if it's like the number of hits he takes, but there's always something. Like he was concussed. He had an ankle problem, a knee problem. Like there's, I don't know, if they can get everything figured out, I without a doubt think Cam Newton could win a Super Bowl in New England.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd agree. This is not a stupidity. I forgot to mention it during team news. Today, the NCAA Division I Council passed legislation effective August 1st that would allow teams to give need-based merit without counting it against a program's scholarship total. This is big news for college baseball. It's big news for a lot of sports that don't get to offer their full team scholarships.
Yeah, that's huge. Mm-hmm. That's huge.
Could help Tennessee a lot when you talk about a team that is decently funded, but not maybe funded as some of the top programs. So,
yeah,
it's good. It's good for them. Anything else?
That's all I got.
That's it. That's all I got too, guys. I want to thank you all for hopping on the show with us again. Remember, you can find this on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You'll find parts of it on Instagram, and you can always check us out on anywhere you find your podcasts on Anchor, specifically. If you use iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, whatever you use. I use Spotify personally. I think you use Spotify too, don't you? Yep. Big Spotify guy. But yeah, you can, whatever you use, you can check it out. So make sure you do that. Head on over to volunteerroadshow.com. Head on over to Twitter and follow us and Volunteer Roadshow and Facebook as well. Volunteer Roadshow has a ton of great shows that have been added in just the last week as well. So make sure you go check those out. Ton of content every day, every night. Follow along, guys. I'm excited. I think football season's coming. I'm being optimistic.
Yeah, we're preparing like it is anyway. Mm-hmm. But like Caleb said, go to Volunteer Roadshow, create your account. That gets you all our free content, all our news, everything like that. So go do that. Thanks for listening. Like, share this. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.